Grade level 6. Subject Mathematics. Topic Ratio and proportion. Objective. Students will understand the concept of ratio and proportion. Students will be able to solve problems involving ratios and proportions. Students will apply their knowledge of ratios and proportions to real-world scenarios. Materials: whiteboard and markers, chalkboard or digital presentation, ratio and proportion worksheets, calculators, optional. Lesson duration: 45 to 60 minutes. Lesson plan: Introduction, 10 minutes. Begin by asking students if they have ever shared something with a friend or family member, like sharing a pizza or dividing candies. Explain that today, they will learn about a mathematical concept called ratio, and how it's used in real-life situations. Definition and explanation of ratio, 10 minutes. 3. Write the definition of a ratio on the board. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities using division. Explain that ratios can be written in 3 ways: as a fraction, with a colon happy smiley, or as the word 2. For example, 2, 3, 2/3, or 2 to 3 are all ways to express the same ratio. Provide several examples of ratios, both simple and complex, and have students practice writing them in different forms. Use visuals or objects, like colored counters, to illustrate ratios. For instance, show 2 red counters and 3 blue counters to represent the ratio 2, 3. Definition and explanation of proportion, 10 minutes. 7. Introduce the concept of proportion by writing on the board. A proportion is an equation that states two ratios are equal. Explain that proportions are often used to solve problems involving equivalent ratios. Provide examples of proportions and how they can be set up to find missing values. Guided practice, 10 minutes. 10. Give students a few practice problems involving ratios and proportions. Start with simple examples and gradually increase the complexity. Solve the problems together as a class, explaining each step. Independent practice, 5 to 10 minutes. 12. Distribute worksheets with a variety of ratio and proportion problems for students to work on individually or in pairs. Circulate the classroom to provide assistance and answer questions as students work. Real-life applications, 5 minutes. 14. Discuss real-life scenarios where ratios and proportions are used, such as cooking recipes, map scales, and price comparisons while shopping. Conclusion, 5 minutes. 15. Review the key concepts of ratios and proportions. Encourage students to practice more on their own and ask for help when needed. Homework, optional. 17. Assign additional problems from the textbook or provide a worksheet for homework to reinforce the concepts learned in class.